Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be yet another toxic drama trip through Crazy Town. Well, this particular email is from a viewer who I guess it's been 2-3 years now. He sent an email in the past, and that last doozy was toxic drama, a trip through Crazy Town. So he got involved with a girl in that previous email that was just hell on wheels. And apparently, I guess he just did not have enough. And so he signed up for a second helping with somebody new. It just brings to mind, if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll continue to get what you've always got. And so if you keep fishing in the same holes or the same places, and you keep catching the same kinds of undesirable fish, well, obviously it's your approach. However, what we notice here is that there's lots of red flags right off the bat, and he continues to ignore them. So, I mean, this guy's obviously struggling with projecting his fantasy onto the girl that he likes, but completely ignoring all signs that she's just not a good person. She has low character. I mean, we can sit here and go through all these and go, like, what are you thinking, bro? But it just goes to show when somebody's emotions are engaged, and, I learned this long time ago back in sales, that people make their decisions based upon their emotions, and then they use logic and reason to justify their decisions. And so even in this case, this guy sees these glaring, obvious red flags, but because his emotions are engaged, he's just blinded because he's only paying attention to his interest in her and ignoring the fact that she just doesn't live up to the fantasy that he's projecting onto her. So it's a good email to see what you should be looking for to avoid, so you can learn from this guy's mistakes so you can avoid it. Because women like this are fuck buddies, friends with benefits, sex playmate. That's it. You shouldn't be trying to get into a relationship with somebody like this, especially when the signs are so obvious. So he says, hey, Corey, I wrote you almost 3 years ago, and you reviewed my letter in the video, Toxic Drama, a Trip Through Crazy Town. That's one of those headlines and one of those emails. I'm pretty sure he actually, a Trip Through Crazy Town, I think, was the original subject line in his email. And it was a good subject line because the email was good, but he didn't learn his lesson. So he is up for round 2. He says, well, I made one more trip, and this one showed me I have some more internal work to do before getting into another relationship. The timestamp of 1:02 to 3:15 from your recent video, never get caught up in her changing emotions or feelings, broke the spell over me in this current shit show. Here are the signs. Hiding her phone, being secretive, going with her everywhere, including the bathroom, face down around me, keeps the screen black to hide notifications. If you're hanging out and you're hooking up and a woman's very secretive, she's on her phone, always hiding it from you, you have to assume that you're not the only guy, and you probably should be practicing safe sex. That should be common sense, but remember, we project our fantasy, and then we start looking for reasons to justify why that person matches up with our fantasy, and we'll often ignore things that are glaringly obvious, like a scotoma, where you can see it, but your brain says, and completely ignores it because your belief is so strong that reality is different than it actually is. You convince yourself that what is clearly there and other people can see is just simply not. You just must be imagining things. So he says, she called me the nickname of someone she claims she doesn't know. So she can't even keep the guy straight, and she uses one of her pet names for another dude for him. He says, I know she knows this person and more than likely talking to and is messing with him. Stories about her past change every time we talk about it. Character is destiny. You have to evaluate the people that come into your life. And somebody who, when she continues to retell a story, the stories are always different, that's a sign she's being deceptive and not being truthful. Because if you're being truthful, the truth comes out, and it sounds the same pretty much all the time. He says her story's never consistent, i.e., she said she was messing around with multiple men before we started being exclusive, and then later on changed it to that she wasn't dating multiple men at a time, but when one fizzled out, she moved on to the next. Again, these are all things that were pretty obvious to him, and he thought, oh, yeah, it's a good idea to become exclusive with her. It's a bad way to go, my man. Had some work done in her house, indicating another man had been there, but then she tells me that the work was always done. So she's gaslighting him. Oh, what you're seeing is not what you're actually seeing. She gaslighted me into thinking I was crazy and something was wrong with my memory. That's classic tactic by a narcissist. I know for a fact the changes she had done in her home, and they were done the weekend we were apart. Again, it's like when you notice the story's changing and you catch her in lies, that's not somebody you go, oh, I'm going to wife her up. I'm going to get into a relationship with her. Claims that her ex-boyfriend, friends with benefits, and mess around buddy told her to buy an appliance from a major retail store in cash and then put a broken one in it and return it. She did it a year or so before we met. I mean, you hear stuff like that and you're stealing. So you're getting into a relationship, you stay in a relationship with somebody who openly is committing fraud. Character's destiny. She had condoms in her overnight bag when we became exclusive and claims that she is lazy and didn't clean them out from when she was single. Also had some still in her drawer, even though we said we wouldn't use them. The reality is, you're not her first. Just like, who is it? I can't remember. Who was the guy that was hooking up with Madonna in the 90s? Might have been Dennis Rodman, I think, if I'm not mistaken. You guys can fact check me in the comments, but I remember him going, I definitely wasn't her first. Recently said to me that my teeth guard no longer works because, oh, let me do this in a girl voice. So this is what she says to him. My teeth guard no longer works because I've been sucking a lot of dick. Now, she could have meant sucking a lot of my dick, but my first instinctual thought was she's sucking other men off. I mean, all this stuff just seems obvious, right? But again, when you are emotionally hijacked and you're projecting your fantasy, you're just going to ignore this and rationalize it away and be tempted to buy her gaslighting because you want to believe her. You want the fantasy to be real, despite the fact all the evidence to the contrary. Attributed a bear that I bought for her on Valentine's Day to one that she received from a student. She's a teacher. Isn't that lovely? This is one of the people that are teaching your kids. That's great. Makes a good case for homeschooling. He says that stung, as she didn't even care to remember that I bought that for her. Probably because there's so many dudes in her life, she just really can't keep all of you guys straight. Again, this is pretty obvious that you should see these things, but just to continue moving forward and ignoring all the signs. He says, this one I know I am dumb. I'm a dumbass for. She has a confirmed STD, herpes, that she claims she caught from her second husband and takes medication to block the outbreaks. So I assume probably something like Valtrex or something like that. He says, my dumbass was like, okay, as long as you're taking your meds, we're good. I should have dropped it from there. Yeah, I mean, if you look at her behavior, it's like, well, of course she's got an STD. She's probably sleeping around left and right, doesn't even remember half the guys she slept with. And again, isn't it great she's a teacher? She claims that she doesn't keep in contact with or connected to former partners. I found out that she is indeed connected to at least one former sex partner on Facebook. Yet another lie. Keeps catching her in these lies, and he's like, I can work with this. This ain't so bad. Kept in touch with her first ex-husband, who was physically abusive towards her. When I told her I don't do relationships where exes remain around, she claims she blocked him on Facebook and told him not to call her again. Later on, months later, I found out that she didn't disconnect from him on Facebook. What did Ronald Reagan say? Trust but verify. Claims she didn't know how to unfriend him and needed help. I don't know how to unfriend somebody. Click the button and click unfriend. Unfollow. Yeah. Isn't it great? Somebody of this low character is the one teaching your kids. And people wonder why their kids go to school and then graduate college and they go in conservative and come out communist, Marxist, socialist. Claims she didn't know how to unfriend him and needed help. She had the nerve to tell me, I'm disappointed that you didn't trust me to do it. Probably because you lie about all kinds of other things. If she lies about the little things, she's probably lying about the big things. And lots of things you don't even know about. Again, this stuff should just be so obvious. In your vetting phase, when you see things like this, a girl that's always got her phone hidden, and you're going, oh yeah, I'm going to definitely make this girl mine. Yeah, let's be boyfriend, girlfriend. Sounds like somebody that's real forthcoming and honest. But hey, she's a teacher. She's got to be okay. There's other stuff I observed, but I tried my best to give her a chance. The sex is good, but I stand a risk of getting infected. Dumbass me. And there are red flags that indicates other men being in the picture listed above. Well, as the old saying goes, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. My plan for ending this is to just pull all the way back. I'm more into her than she's into me. There's the problem. You care more about her than she does about you, and so therefore you've given away all of your power. And so from a leverage perspective, you're in a weak position of leverage. And just let the relationship die due to starvation. No attention, time sharing, etc. initiated by me. I can't believe I allowed this woman to lie and lie and lie and explain those lies away like I did in my previous relationship. Again, because you were wedded to the fantasy of who you wanted her to be, and it's absolutely amazing, the scotoma that you got going on, where you just completely ignore it. I mean, those are some obvious red flags. Any one of which should have precluded you from saying, oh yeah, let's be boyfriend-girlfriend now. I've been looking and seeking for a way out, and the box kept pulling me back in. Well, if you have no self-control, that's on you. A segment of your video indicated above broke the spell. I know what I have to do. Any feedback is appreciated. I wanted to share, it's like Mr. Captain Save-A-Ho to the rescue. So you attracted somebody who was pretty much almost exactly identical to your ex, and you completely ignored all the signs. That is on you. And this is part of growing up and maturing as a man, is learning to recognize when it's a short-term girl, because again, there's some girls for fucking and fun, and there's other girls that are more relationship-oriented. I wanted to share just in case someone else is going through something similar or just want to provide other insight. I did speak with a therapist about this, and she said it appears that she is operating out of trauma, sexual, etc., which she has, and that you can't save her. Yeah, he's like Mr. White Knight, Captain Save-A-Ho. I got Corey's book. I'm going to fix her now. I mean, these things became so obvious and you should have just kept it moving. That's on you. And she doesn't sound like someone that is healthy and ready for a relationship with you. Yep, I totally agree with your therapist. She's spot on. You want easygoing, easy to get along with, communicates well, comes from a good family, loves her mom, loves her dad. Parents have a good relationship. Dad's the head of the household. He actually leads. He's not some beta male that gets walked all over by the wife or the other daughters or the particular woman that you're dating. I'm talking about an actual good, healthy relationship. I know I have to work on myself, my confidence, and overall well-being. This is probably the bottom of the barrel that I attracted, and it's playing with fire, literally being that she has herpes. The question I am asking myself is, how am I seeing myself to allow me to accept such a low integrity, low character person with a confirmed incurable disease in my life? Yep, I got some internal work to do. Yeah, you can't make good wine from bad grapes, and this woman was bad grapes from the beginning, and you just ignored it. So typically, I would say you probably should read up on codependency. Maybe if you had somebody in your family that had a drug or an alcohol problem or some mental health issues, whatever, and you were constantly covering for that person, then you're just going to be emotionally conditioned and anchored to trying to save somebody because you became conditioned to do that in childhood. Again, that would be a good thing to talk with your therapist about and work those things out and work through it. Because it's like the signs are so obvious that she's not a good person to date, and yet you're proceeding anyways with trying to lock her down. And I would suspect probably because something in your past that, again, a good therapist can help you with that. So if you guys haven't already signed up for our paying members only content, you can sign up on Spotify, you can sign up on my website, or you can choose to follow the members only content on YouTube. If you sign up on our website, you go to understandingrelationships.com and click the plans tab. If you choose an annual plan, you get a 7-day free trial, and then you get a 25% discount for paying upfront, or you can do the month to month. And so you get 6 additional video coaching newsletters like this one per week that are members only. We have weekly 3% Man and Mastering Yourself study groups with myself and the girls and the guys, where we go through literally page by page in the books and we discuss everything that's in there to really drill down on the concepts and the principles that are in the book. Plus, we got the full viewers questions podcast where we answer the short viewer questions, and any special interviews will also be in there. And so if you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify, then below this video in the video description, there are links that will take you to whatever platform of choice you would like to consume our members only content. Obviously, we'd like to see you join on the website and choose the annual plan. Plus, you get all the email analysis that goes like these, along with this particular doozy of an email. And if you got a question or a challenge and you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen on any page of my website, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.